Um, hello, and welcome to another class of the Find Your Way method. Today is going to be one of those classes 100% in English. And the topic today is going to be the secrets of the Misto Quente. I can see people getting online here on Instagram. Hello, Camila, welcome, and people on YouTube are still connecting. As I was saying, today I'm going to give you all my secrets about a specific recipe. A recipe I have been making and trying again and improving throughout the years until I reached what I consider to be the ultimate recipe. All right. So if you were watching this class on Instagram, today is a day that you can stay there because most part of the class is going to be just me talking. All right, I'm just going to be talking here in English and explaining to you. Or if you want to see the material I prepared to present during the class today, you can go to YouTube. If you want to go to YouTube, you can connect on my stories. The last story has a link to the YouTube class. All right, so let's start here. I want to show you the material I prepared today. I don't know why the hell this is not appearing here. Give me 1 second so I can fix it. Just a second. No, okay. Compartilhar, share the screen, janela, secrets of Misto Quente. All right, now it's working. All right. So here's the material for our class today. I am going to give you all the secrets of my Misto Quente recipe. And if you like the sandwich, tell me in the comments if you like. Do you like Misto Quente? What is your opinion about this classic Brazilian sandwich? It has a name in English, okay? I am saying Misto Quente because it's the way we say it. But you can say the traditional name in English, which is grilled ham and cheese sandwich. Sanduíche de queijo e presunto grelhado. That's what they call. Right? So I divided this class into 2 moments. A very brief moment in the beginning when I want to talk about the sandwich master. Who is the sandwich master? I'm going to expose it very soon. And then I'm going straight to my recipe. So first of all, let me remove the material from the screen. You don't need to see the material. You only need to hear me. All right? So who is the sandwich master? The sandwich master is Dona Su, aka my mother. Okay, my mother is for me the sandwich master. She is the best sandwich maker I have ever known in my life. It's amazing the things she can do without even making effort. She just goes to the kitchen, grabs the bread and the fillings of the sandwich, she prepares it, and it's perfect. In balance, the way she puts up the fillings, everything's great when she makes sandwiches. I really admire her ability. Misto Quente is specifically something she made for my brother and me since we were kids. So it was a very traditional option at my house when I was growing up until today for my mother to prepare misto quentes. I must have eaten like thousands of misto quentes. As you can see by my format, most of what you see here is formed by misto quentes, okay? By grilled ham and cheese sandwiches. Of course, that since my mother started making misto quentes in the beginning, when I was a kid until today, it didn't take long for me to want to try my own recipe, to try myself to make them. So, what did I do? In the beginning, I just tried to replicate her way of doing it. I would observe my mother and see how she did it, and I would try to copy her. Unfortunately, my mother is that kind of cook who doesn't use recipes for anything. So it took me a lot of observation to try to copy what she was doing. My mother, when she cooks, she doesn't have a recipe. When she prepares something very good, very tasty, we have to savor it because the probability of her repeating that are very low, the probabilities. So when she makes something very good, we have to savor it. She will not repeat that. Sometimes she makes it even better. Sometimes she never repeats the tasty recipe again. I am different from her. I like to cook in a different way. I like to use the scientific way. So that means that when I want to cook, I try something, I take notes, not notes literally speaking, I take mental notes. I try again, I come to conclusions, I try again, I take notes, and so on. So I like to experiment and observe what happens and try again and make little changes until I reach what I consider to be the best way to do it. Of course, my best way to do it is not the best of the best, but for me, it's like I am satisfied. I reached this point, and this point for me is the top. I don't need to go further. Okay, so today, um, if I am at my mother's, I made so many sandwiches. I made Misto Quente so many times that when I am at my mother's house, and we know that the meal is going to be the lunch or the dinner is going to be Misto Quente or any other kind of sandwich, there is not even a discussion. I will be the one to make them. So, okay, because at my mother's house, I became the sandwich authority. When it's something else, my mother makes. When it's, for example, tomato sauce, my brother makes it because my brother's tomato sauce is amazing. I don't know how to do it, but he makes it, and you feel like drinking his tomato sauce like a juice. So tasty it is. But when the dinner, the meal is sandwiches, I have to do it. But I still think her sandwiches are the best one, and she does them with without effort. Without effort, I have to take notes. I have to think. I consider. I adjust. I make lots of changes. My mother goes there. She doesn't think to do it. So pop, 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 pop. She puts everything together and pop, perfect sandwich. It's amazing. So before I start my recipe, I would like to say thanks to my mother because she's my inspiration when it comes to sandwiches. She's my master. She's my teacher. So thanks, mom. You rock. Okay, let's before we go to the recipe, I need to see the comments. Bibi is asking here, will you do it live? Você vai fazer ao vivo? Saca um e no final morde igual o Joshua. Bibi, I did it already. If you go to my Instagram, the highlights, os destaques chamados cooking, one of them, I don't remember which one, has a Misto Quente recipe. Even it has a moment when I bite them and I burn my mouth because they were very hot. So if you want to see me making Misto Quente, né, grilled ham and cheese sandwich, you can go to my Instagram right now and check the highlights. Of course, I will repeat them eventually, but right now you can check the ones I made already, okay? There are many people entering here, some people entering here and saying hello. Hello to all of you and welcome. Let's continue. Now it's time for my recipe. I am going to share the material on the screen. Look here, this is the message to my mother. Thanks, Mom, you rock. And now let's go to my recipe. First of all, let's talk about the name. In Portuguese, we call it misto quente. In English, they call it grilled ham and cheese sandwich. Okay, this is the name that describes exactly what it is. And the cooking time, the time you need to prepare it, I didn't put here minutes because, come on, it's just a few minutes. You put the ingredients together and that's ready. I'm not going to present to you a complex recipe today, but I'm going to give you very deep strategies that I developed throughout the years to reach the sandwich I prepared today, okay? So the ingredients or the equipment you're going to need are very simple, all right? You will need sliced bread, okay? Pão fatiado, pão de forma, mayo, mayonnaise, ham, cheese. The cheese can be a mozzarella or any meltable cheese you like. When I say meltable, I mean derretível. Any kind of queijo derretível. Queijo que derrete you like. I use usually mozzarella. right? And to prepare the sandwich, I like to use an electric grill like George Foreman or a non-stick frying pan. Okay, when I say non-stick frying pan, let's go through parts. When I say frying pan, it's a frigideira. And non-stick, it's a frigideira que não gruda, which means in Portuguese não aderente, uma frigideira não aderente. That's all you need. Some people will say, teacher, can I use butter instead of mayonnaise? You can use whatever you want. I am going to show you how I do it, how I make it, and why I use mayonnaise. So those are the ingredients. Very simple. You may have many of those things at home, and if you don't, they are very easy to acquire. So don't worry. If you want to take notes, now is the time. The directions. I'm going to give you here simple directions, but the important part comes after it. Comes when I explain to you the tips, because the directions are very simple, all right? So let's go to the directions. The first of all is you will spread a thin layer of mayo on the bread slices. Okay, so spreads a thin. When I say thin, I mean very thin, very thin. I know you may say, teacher, but I love mayo. I love mayonnaise. Let me put a lot of it. The mayo is not inside the sandwich. The mayo goes on the outer part of the sandwich, on the part of the sandwich that will contact the grill or the frying pan. Okay, so you will spread a very thin layer of mayo on the outer side of the sandwich, because inside of it you will put only ham and cheese, and that's it. All right, so spread a thin layer of mayo on the bread slices, and then you will put as many slices of ham and cheese as you wish. Okay, coloca aí quantas fatias de presunto e queijo you like. I like, for me, when I eat the sandwich, 2 slices of ham, 2 slices of cheese. My brother, for example, he likes sandwiches with very little filling. So I put a very thin layer of slice of ham and a very thin slice of cheese, and he tells me that it's the most delicious sandwich he has eaten. He has ever eaten. I don't like it. I like it with more things inside of it. You decide what you want. And then you are going to put the sandwich in the grill or on the frying pan. Of course, if you put it on the frying pan, eventually you will have to flip it over and fry both sides. This is the basic of the recipe, okay? This is what you have to do to prepare the sandwich. But now comes the details, the tips, okay? Before I go on, let me answer Blue Hayes' question. She's asking, qual a diferença em dizer outer side and now outside? Outside means o lado de fora, like, let's go outside. How to explain that to you, Blue? Well, outer side refers to the lado de fora do lanche. And outside é o lado de fora quando... okay, no. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that to you, Blue. I only know that outside together is not adequate to what I'm saying. But I have no explanation to you. I'll have to take notes and think of a way to explain that, all right? Let me just put here, outer side versus outside. All right, I'm going to research that and post on Instagram, but I don't know how to answer that right now. Sorry. Let's go to the tips of the sandwich. The first tip is, when you put mayonnaise on the outer side of the sandwich, it will stick as soon as it gets hot. Okay, so when you get your sandwich with mayonnaise on the external sides of the sandwich and it touches the hot surface, it will stick immediately. And that's a very important moment, because when it sticks, you don't try to unstick it. No, leave it there. Because if you try to unstick it and it resists, it doesn't come off, it means it's not ready yet. So you prepare your sandwich, you put it on the George Foreman, and then you press it. You try to open the George Foreman, and the sandwiches open together with it. Stop opening. Wait. You will get like a spoon or a knife and try to unstick it very gently. If it unstick it, it's ready. It will be automatic. All right. The sandwich will tell you when it's ready. So it will get off easily when it's almost ready. You will see that when it unsticks, it will be golden brown. All right. I have a comment here from Marlos on Instagram. He's enjoying the class. Thanks, Marlos. Thanks for coming. Now, if you decide to put a lot of filling, a lot of slices of ham and cheese, it's important that you fry it. We are talking about a frying pan, okay? You fry it in very low heat because you need it to have time for the heat to get inside the sandwich. Because what people usually do is that they put like 3 slices of ham, 3 slices of cheese, they close the sandwich and they put it in the George Foreman. When the bread is golden, the sandwich is cold inside because it has so many slices of ham and cheese that the heat didn't have time to penetrate the interior of the sandwich. So you have 2 options. You can put fewer slices of ham and cheese, or you can fry it slowly on a frying pan. A third option would be to leave the ham and the cheese outside the refrigerator for a while so it reaches the room temperature. Right? So you have to consider that the heat needs to travel until it reaches the núcleo. I don't know how to say the núcleo. The center of the sandwich. BB is asking me if I use bread, industrial bread. Yes, I use Vicky Boldi or Spanko, those normal bread loaves, those normal pães de forma. There's no secret. To tell you the truth, BB, I like it so much that I used all of them. I use bread rolls, our famous pão francês, but the traditional recipe I'm teaching here today is with pão de forma, okay? Let me tell you something bizarre. It's not in the script. That I like to mix salty and sweet together. So one day I was bored. It was around Christmas time, and I cut 2 slices of panettone, and I used the panettone as the bread. So I put mayonnaise on the outer side of the panettone. I put ham and cheese inside of it. I put up. Como é que fala montar mesmo? I created a sandwich with panettone and I grilled it. Instead of using bread, I used panettone. Yes, so I like bizarre things sometimes. But yes, BB, I use pão de forma, the normal one. Okay? All right. Now, let's imagine that you decided to put a lot of slices of ham and cheese. When you do that, it's a smart thing to do to put the cheese closer to the bread because it's more important the cheese to be hot than the ham because you need the cheese to melt. So when you prepare the sandwich, you will do like bread, cheese, ham, cheese, and bread. You make a sandwich of bread and a sandwich of cheese, and then you put the ham in the middle of it. You need the heat to touch the cheese before anything else. So those are the things that you have to think when you are preparing it. All right? So if you put too many slices of cheese, place them touching the bread slices where it's hotter to guarantee they melt. I am almost at the end, okay? This is going to be a very short class. Also, in the situation of too much cheese, the low heat will guarantee everything melts nicely. Okay, so in the situation of you putting too much cheese, you can go to the frying pan. I prefer the frying pan. It's more work, but I think it gets tastier because think with me. When you put a sandwich inside a George Foreman, inside an electric grill, it toasts both sides at the same time, so it gets ready quicker. But when you prepare it on a frying pan and you turn the sandwich, you will have twice the time to prepare it. And this time it's on the frying pan, it has heat involved. So I like to do it, I like to make it on the frying pan. I think it gets tastier. But you will decide, okay? Now, I have reached the end of my material, so I have a bizarre story to tell you. A bizarre story. No, a bizarre story. It's not bizarre. It's just an interesting story of my past. I used to work in a restaurant, and one day I stopped working there. I couldn't take it anymore. It was too stressful, but I still wanted to work with food. So I spent a few months of my life going after a plan to have my own food truck. And my food truck would be a very, I'm glad I didn't do it, okay? Would be a very, how do you say? A very, I don't like to use the word bizarre. It would be a very eccentric food truck because it would sell only one item. Guess which item? It would sell only grilled ham and cheese sandwich. Só misto quente. That would be the only food I would serve on my food truck. Of course, I had to plan the places I would stop my food truck because I couldn't stay in the same place every day. People would get tired of it. So I would have to go like on Monday, I will stop in front of this college. On Tuesday, I'm going to stop in front of that. I planned everything. I made the costs and everything. But the problem was that it was very expensive to build a food truck. The physical part, the truck itself, it was very difficult to prepare. But I had a food truck idea in mind, and its name would be Só Misto Quente. That would be the name of my food truck, Só Misto Quente. So if people arrived there, they wouldn't have to ask, o que tem para comer aí? No, é só misto quente. That's the name of the food truck. And I even had the idea of, after 1 or 2 years selling only misto quente, only grilled ham and cheese sandwich, I would have a big marketing campaign to include a second item in my menu. And of course, it was going to be a joke because the second item would be a bauru. Bauru doesn't have a name in English, okay? A bauru, which is a misto quente with a slice of tomato inside of it. That was my brilliant idea to have a food truck. Now, I have reached the end of this. It was a very short class, as I told you, 20 minutes, only 20 minutes. Tell me, did you understand everything? Do you have questions about the techniques? I don't know if Andressa is live, but Andressa challenged me saying that her misto quente is the best. Andressa, what changes, what suggestions would you, if you were here, what suggestions would you make to change that? While people comment if they want, I want to see what they commented. Cynthia said, I prefer the second one. Sorry, Cynthia, I think I lost your comment, so I don't know what you were talking about exactly. You prefer the second one. Maybe the second sandwich, the bauru. I don't know. I can't guess. And if you are watching this class as a recorded class, you can check the material I showed down below, okay? All right, no questions? Guys, thanks so much for coming. I have a few other recipes to show you later. I have a recipe of torresmo, okay, which is pork crackling. Yes, I know I am having a diet right now, but I have many fat recipes to show it here. Look, BB said, in the event, I do my sandwich open. Cheese melt away. Okay, So Bibi prefers to make her sandwich open. I think she puts the sandwich in the George Foreman, but she doesn't close it. She puts the two halves of the sandwich open and then she just connects them. That's great too. There was a moment when I used it to make the sandwiches, the misto quente, with a bread roll, né, com pão de forma. And the bread roll is very irregular. It's very difficult to press for me. So I would do it like we see in bakeries, naquelas padarias, very traditional ones with an iron plate. I would make a package with cheese and I would pack the cheese with ham. I would fry only the filling, o recheio, and then I would heat the bread roll separately, and then I would put everything together. Somebody's crazy as me. Bibi said she loved the panettone recipe. I like it. I like panettone as bread to make sandwiches. And Gleo is saying here, só não procure a receita do panetone nos highlights da Lara. No, no. Lara will show you how to prepare the perfect broccoli, the perfect carrots. But when it comes to misto quente usando panetone, that's only in Mr. Robert Teacher's profile, all right? Lara doesn't use those bizarre stuff. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming and see you next time. Bye-bye.